When it comes to photography and my creative process, I have a tendency to get sidetracked, and then I do everything except what my actual plan was. And it doesn't just happen with photography either. If I'm supposed to be making music, I tend to take pictures, and vice versa, because I follow my whims more than anything else. And most of the time that's totally fine because I don't have clients or anything else that restricts what I have to do. So if one day my plans don't quite work out, that's totally fine. So when I went out to take pictures on film with my Diana the other day, it wasn't really all that surprising that I got drawn into the lens that I had on my Lumix instead. I was shooting a Helios 44, which is known for its swirly bokeh, and what's not to love about that? Nice and muddy. Oh dear. It was a really beautiful sunny day, and I just love how this lens renders. It's not the swirliest because it's one of the newer versions from the 80s rather than the 60s. So maybe one day I should get one of the swirlier ones. But I still love this one because it's kind of the best of both worlds. It looks quite vintage, but on a sunny day it doesn't create quite as much trouble as one of the older versions would. This fallen tree was fascinating. It was entangled in the branches of the other trees and seemed to be floating. I really liked the picture too. Now here the swirls are very obvious and I love it. Oh yeah, that was graceful. With swirly lenses, I like to focus on all the little details because the swirls are more pronounced the closer you are to the subject. I have photographed these details many times before, but with the seasons the colors change and I just love seeing how things look when I photograph them with unusual lenses like this. Paying attention to detail obviously has its rewards too. Hi guys, today I'm shooting with this combination here, which is my Lumix S5 IIx and a Helios lens. It's the third version, I believe, so it has slightly better coatings, but it's still quite prone to flare, so I guess I've picked a great day for it. since it's very sunny. I'm trying not to shoot against the sun, but really my mission isn't so much to shoot with the Lumix. I want to shoot some film. I never start with film though at the moment because it got quite expensive. So I'm trying to save it for the spot where I actually want to take pictures. And I picked a good day for this at least, which is low tide. And that means that I'm probably not gonna get cut off by the tides or something like that, because that can happen around here. We're near a river delta, and that means the tides affect how high the water is here in this area of the river. So I'm gonna go there now. I hope I don't get too sidetracked on the way there, so that I actually get to shoot some film today. And I do enjoy shooting with the Lumix, and also this Helios lens is quite nice, but I would prefer to shoot some film maybe, because last week I already tried that and I had to head back before I even started the roll. So maybe this time I'll reach my goal. We'll see. Where did I put my filter? There it is. Right in the mud. No! Okay, we're getting there. It actually holds tight normally, but if you knock it, it comes off. Man, that is so stupid. I almost lost my filter. But cleaning it off was not so bad actually. Normally it makes a quite distinctive sound when it hits the ground, but of course not when it falls on mud. Jesus. Definitely found the right spot to let it drop. Oh well. I guess I'll try to go where I'm going again, and maybe this time I'm not gonna do something so silly. Maybe I'll manage to get some film shot. After all, I'm not sure yet. There might still be more disasters lurking, who knows? Yeah, magnetic filters are kinda good in theory, but in practice they tend to fly off quite a bit, especially if you're moving about without paying attention. And that's something I do. It's a great solution for shooting both photos and video with the same camera, because you can set your camera up in 2 modes and have the settings so that you use it with the filter for video and take it off for photos. But it does make it rather likely that you'll lose your filter, like I almost did here. Sounds like we have a good day for recording. Oh, but there are many. As soon as I got to the lake, I got sidetracked again because the birds were particularly vocal that day. So I set up my field recording mics to record all the many bird calls. These are Clippy Mics, so primo capsules, and even though this is close to a motorway, these are omnidirectional mics. At the moment I don't have directional mics that would fit with this purpose, and frankly the motorway is practically behind the lake, so it would be the same direction anyway. If you enjoy the music in this video, then you can check out my Bandcamp, polarcoaster.bandcamp.com. You can also support my channel on Ko-fi, where there are different membership tier options, and you can get early access to my videos or download the music in them. This really helps out to keep the channel running, because that way I have more time to spend on these videos and I can bring you more of them. Thank you for all your support, it really helps. I just finished recording with my Clippy Mics, and I also recorded a time-lapse. The clouds are not too dense today, so I don't think the time-lapse was super interesting, but with all the birds, maybe it's something, I don't know. With the first attempt, I forgot to turn on the DJI mics, and that's very, on brand. But I think that Clippy Mics were working throughout. There was a motor saw in the background too, and I guess I also have some bits without the motor saw. It kept coming in and out, and the motorway is always there anyway, so there is background noise that I have to clean up, and that's just what it is in this location. There's just no way of recording here without any noise. Except if they shut down the motorway for some reason, which they never do. So that's just how it is. And the one thing that I haven't managed to do yet is shoot some film. Now I got sidetracked again because of the birds, and I will now use the opportunity to take some telephoto pictures of these birds, I suppose, since they're here. So I guess film, we'll see, maybe not. Will I ever manage to shoot some film? I don't know. I can come back another day. Oh well. Alright, now some telephoto pictures. So I'm heading back now, and I think I actually got what I wanted. Yeah, walking and talking is not so good for me anyway. I get out of breath. So I better stop here, and I see you back home. This time without hitting my head, perhaps. Oh. Here comes the mud bath. Oh God. it's actually not that far when you don't stop for every single branch. After I was done with all the field recording, I didn't really feel like taking more pictures. In a way, I felt photoed out, if that's a word. And the reason for that is that lately I've been shooting a lot of film, and 24 images on digital while also shooting video can be much more exhausting than 12 film pictures. Lately it's been medium format for me, so I'm used to 12 pictures, and everything else seems kind of a lot. And then I was also recording the sound, and at that point I was just tired. Nevertheless, I would consider this photo walk a success because I got these recordings of the bird calls, and those turned out really cool. It was also the first time I was using this 250mm lens. I was kind of blown away by how far away I could be and still see the birds. That's really cool. I also saw some quite interesting ones, so that was fun. And I especially liked this one. It looked quite cool the way it was calling. The reason I had this lens on me was because I had been doing all this promo for my recent album Dreams Long Forgotten, and during that promo I often mentioned that I live near a bird preserve and that the sounds of one of the tracks were actually recorded there, but I didn't really have any pictures or footage of birds to show whenever I said that, which was kind of strange. And it made me think about how I take pictures, because this is another example of me not using what I have in my surroundings. Back when I moved here after living in Berlin, I felt very annoyed at this place because it didn't deliver the street photography that I wanted to be taking at the time. And it really frustrated me a lot that I was just walking and walking and not really getting what I wanted. And it just didn't deliver, and it was so frustrating. But after a few years, I understood that I was actually trying to force this place to be something that it isn't, instead of using it for what it is. Maybe street photography is not that great here, I won't dispute that, but at the same time there's all this really amazing landscape here, and for a few years I wasn't using it because I just didn't feel like it, and I thought that I had to, push the universe to be more like I want it to be, instead of just taking what the universe delivers, just like that, without me asking anything. So I started taking landscapes, and that has become a large focus of my work. It's part of the album art that I make at the moment, so it's actually quite nice, and I enjoy landscape photography quite a lot now. And maybe with this bird preserve it's the same thing. I have this now practically on my doorstep. It's very close, and there are even 2 areas where you can watch the birds. One even has hideouts, so it's really quite cool, and maybe I should get more into it. I'm thinking about it, but I don't really have any gear for that. This lens is probably the only one I have that makes any sort of sense. It is a lens that I bought 15 years ago when I was just starting out with photography, really. It was for my Canon 450D, and it's just an EF-S lens. It's not always super sharp. The aperture is quite narrow still, f5.6 at the longest range. So you're not going to get much subject separation unless you're quite close. And I think there are better lenses, obviously, for this purpose, but they're also super expensive. I was really happy that I still had this and didn't sell it because I didn't use it for such a long time. So that's something cool, that I can just use this when I feel like it. In this case, I was using it on like a dumb adapter. It didn't have any autofocus, and the image stabilization didn't work either. So since I really enjoyed this, I actually ordered an autofocus adapter, a Viltrox one, and I hope that maybe I can get even more performance out of this lens, which would be really amazing since I've had this for such a long time and stopped using it, I don't know, maybe 2 years after I bought it. So in 2014, 2013 maybe? 2013 I think, because that's when I switched to my Olympus. Yeah, it must have been 2013. So it's also really cool that I still get some use out of this old lens that I've had lying around. Normally I only use it for photographing the moon or taking footage of the moon. So it's getting some more views now, and I'm really happy about that. So maybe it doesn't really matter that I didn't really do what I wanted to do with this photo walk. Didn't get to shoot film, but it doesn't matter because it gave me some new ideas and some new perspectives and new sounds to work with, and pictures and footage that I can use in my videos whenever I mention the bird preserve. And yeah, it was successful, I think. I can always shoot film another day. It's not as if the landscape I'm trying to photograph is gonna disappear from one day to the next. Oh wait, that actually happened. But more about that another time perhaps, because that would get quite long. If you enjoyed this video, then please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps out my channel, so I would really appreciate it. In this case, I would suggest that you subscribe to my photography channel, because that's where these videos live, and I just share them with the main channel so that they get as wide a reach as possible. But yeah, you're much more likely to see them if you subscribed to my photography channel. Thank you for all the support on this channel already. At the time of recording, the channel is almost at 250 subscribers, which is kind of blowing my mind, because with my main channel, it took me a year and 26 videos to get to that point. So it's really great that you enjoy these videos so much, that you subscribe right away. It's amazing. Thank you so much for the support. If you want to support the channel even more, then you can just watch another video. There's an entire playlist of photography videos for you to watch here. And I hope I see you soon for another video. Bye.